Hello and welcome to the Queber channel. I am Jason, your host. Hi. Okay, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Let's talk about my problems. Okay. Firstly, focus, Jason. Disclaimer at the start. I am lucky. I am lucky because of two parts. The first part is that my mum, even though she didn't have a mental health training, she was a good person and she supported me and allowed me to be who I am and looked after me. I had a good start. She knew I was different. She knew I was a bit strange. She knew something was wrong in that, but she supported me and was there for me. And I know a lot of people don't get that. The second part is I own this house, which is great stress relief because this is my safe space. Because if all these changes and cuts and all the bullshit going on by the government cause me to lose my disability benefits and that, there's no way I can work, but I won't lose the house straight away. And my transport, my mobility scooter, I bought myself because they wouldn't give me the higher level of mobility, so I had to buy it by selling stuff in the house. So that's why I class myself as lucky. I am lucky, and every single person is unique. So now let's get into the video. We're already 1 minute 45 in, and I don't want this to turn into a 50-minute video. Yeah, I'm going to try to be as concise as possible, which isn't that easy, but let's start. Okay, so my official diagnosis. These are the parts that have been officially diagnosed. This is autistic spectrum disorder with comorbidities in bipolar type 2 and ADHD. I also have an official diagnosis of PTSD, and I am in remission from bowel cancer. They also think I've got OCD, but I haven't had the official, and with the way the government and all that is now, it's not really worth me getting that extra diagnosis on top. It's just another one of those things that would take years to see the right specialist. So, I like to think that the universe thought I was bored, and so I got given all these interesting things. For anybody who's watching who's from America, we do send something called sarcasm and irony. Sorry, deal with it. It's just the way it is. So sometimes I'll say things that are a joke, and sometimes you have to joke about these things, because if you don't, UFC UK, you really are. I mean, seriously. We deal with enough problems anyway. So let's get back down into it. My life is full of roadblocks and coping strategies. I'm going to try to describe autism, ADHD, and bipolar and PTSD very quickly, but I'm giving a very baseline thingy for what if autism. The world out there never made sense. It's almost like the world is at a slight angle, a slightly different angle. It doesn't mesh with my brain, doesn't fit with me. Nothing about the world does. People lie out there. You get rewarded for doing bad things. People don't tell the truth. People don't tell you what they feel. Everything's an illusion. Everything's strange and weird, and the world does not compute. That world out there has never in my entire life made sense to me. It is extreme effort for me to fit in any way. This is why a lot of autistic people mask from an early age. I started masking early on, last week. A lot of us did. When you go to school and you first start saying all the things and doing all the things that feel natural to you, and then everybody has a go at you and says you're disrupting things and makes fun of you, and so you mask up. When I lost my wife, after 20 years together, she was my anchor in that I lost the ability to mask. I have never been able to mask since there, and so that's that side of it. But remember, all these things are mixed up together. They're not separate. They're not compartmentalized. ADHD. Oh yes. How best to describe ADHD? I have to have hundreds of different projects in my house. All of them different. All of them half done. I have something like, I think it's 250 films on Plex that I've watched 5 minutes of or 10 minutes of, and then my brain says, ooh, this reminds me, I should watch this as well, and I'll jump from that movie to there. That's the basics of the little bit of thing. It's a good way of showing it. My brain likes to go all over the place. My brain is always full of thousands of thoughts and conversations. The reason I do this, I'm trying to get through all that noise in my head that's trying to everything. Now, bipolar, the easiest way for us to think of that is this. Your normal emotional level. Happy, sad, happy, sad, happy, sad, happy, sad, happy, sad. You might go, really bad thing happens and you might go up a bit more, or go down a bit more, or really something really fun, amazing happens, your birthday, you're having lots of fun, might spike up a little bit more for you. That is normal. But for bipolar type 2, you spend most of your time of your life depressed. Instead of being here, where the normal people are, you spend most of your time there. You can spike down into deep, or you can spike straight up into high. And you can spend time at either of those places, quite a lot of time. So you can either be deeply depressed and dark, and it can go into a very bad place, and the world can seem as if it's gone to black and white, and there's nothing that fits, and everything's falling apart. Or you end up being Superman. You spike up into this such amazing feeling that you feel like you can do anything, and it's really dangerous. It's dangerous. Oh my God. You will screw up and mess up everything you've got financially because you won't think of the consequences. You'll think you can do anything because the risk and reward stuff disappears from your head. You're a god. You can kick ass. You go beyond your limits when you're right up here in the hyperness to the max. And then, of course, there's PTSD. People say they want to have photographic memory. You don't. You really don't. My particular charming PTSD relives the last 30 minutes of my wife's death. I don't need to relive that because I've been told that I will never be able to go through the normal stages of grief because whenever PTSD kicks in, I'm back at day zero. I'm back at the moment. I'm back watching the person I loved more than anything else in the world, watching her life end. I don't need to relive that in full view. Image, colour, smell, sound. An OCD, well, they think a perfect example of OCD. I have to make sure I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and think to myself, if I die during tonight and my doggies need water, I've got to make sure that there's water in every room of the house. So I'll get up, I will go downstairs and I'll fill up a bowl of water and put it down in every room of the house so that the dog doesn't dehydrate. I have to recheck front doors and back doors and things I've done over and over again. My brain is always full of noise. My short-term memory is shot. Not because there's damage to my short-term memory, but because the traffic centre in my brain is so full of all other data that I can't concentrate. For example, by the time I finish this video, I will have forgotten everything that I've said in this video. The only way I know that what I'm going to call this video at the end is because I've written it down. In the morning, when I wake up, I don't know what day it is. And so I have to ask my Echo Dot what day it is. And on a good day, it will take 5 to 10 asks. Why? Because I will say, "Hey Alexa, what day is it?"
It's Sunday, the 30th of March.
So, by the time she's replied and told me, my brain will be distracted by something else in my head and I won't hear the reply. So on a good day, 5 times I have to try that. All the problems I have mixed together though, they don't come in separately. I have to be very careful because my ADHD can grab hold of something, and you know what it's like with ADHD. When it grabs hold of something, it's going to run with it. It's like you're on a train track. That ADHD is going to run with that thought until it decides you can stop. Now that's okay when it's an okay thing, when it's a normal thing, when it's something that you're just dealing with in the normal side. That's fine, that's no problem. But what if it's my brain saying, "You're a failure, you didn't cure your wife of cancer"? What if it's that kind of thought? And then what if at the same time I'm in a depressed situation due to bipolar? Then it's a bad situation. So I have lots of coping strategies and ways to deal with everything. I'll do another video after this about all of my coping strategies and how I use them to try to function. My brain is so full of information and distracted things that sometimes I can't do anything. Sometimes I will literally not be able to move. And sometimes I will forget to go to the bathroom. I can become constipated because my brain forgets to use the bathroom and forgets that I haven't been to the bathroom for a few days. That's how bad it can get. And as for leaving the house, I am completely non-functional outside of my safe spaces. Leaving the house except on my mobility scooter, which is my mobile safe space, I can go catatonic. So I can't leave the house except on my mobility scooter. And when I'm out on my mobility scooter, I can't get off my mobility scooter. But remember, all of these are just unique things that I face that some others will face as well. But everybody is different. In fact, no. We've got enough time, Lil. We've got enough time. Let's make this into a 20-minute video. How do I cope? Well, I have many coping mechanisms. Many coping mechanisms. This camera, talking to you like this focuses me. If I want to game, I can't just game because gaming sometimes triggers bad things for me, or I can get too distracted and just end up phasing out when it comes to games. So if I want to game, and I'm a gamer, I love to game, I have to either stream gaming, or I have to go onto my Discord server and game on the Discord server with other people there. I can't play games alone anymore because my brain just doesn't have the capacity to focus enough on a game. So that's how I cope with that. But this, every morning for since 2019, I've done these videos and put them up on my channel. It's not about, I will never be able to do it as a career, never be able to make money out of it or anything like that. I don't edit stuff, I don't script anything. I do it because this is my therapy. At any time, day or night, if there's something in here I need to get out, need to drag out of my head so it doesn't screw me up, I can press that record button and I can talk to this camera. And this is something I would suggest to a lot of people. People were dealing with bipolar, dealing with autism and that. Having this ability to do it. You don't have to do what I do. You don't have to be crazy and throw it up on YouTube and all that. You can just record it, watch it yourself, or delete it. But just the act of verbalizing is very like having a really good therapy session. It does not. It's not something that can take the place of therapy and that. But everybody has a smartphone. Everybody has a smartphone that they can press record and talk to. And it's helped me. Whether it would help you, I don't know, but it always helps me. The other thing I always have with me, and every time I come off here, every time I come off this, my Audible books. I love reading books in the past, but I can't read books anymore. Can't focus on reading books at all. I've lost that ability. But Audible books. The moment I turn off this, when I press the stop recording, I will press the play on this and listen to one of my Audible books and have that low-level Audible book. I love my sci-fis and things like that, anything like that. And so I have it in the background so I can hear it, so I can follow it, and it sort of distracts a part of my brain and lowers down the noise in my head a little bit. So this helps a lot. Now you'll probably notice my game systems, and I've got computer systems and game systems all over the place. I've got Amiga, I've got stuff like the arcade machine. I have a technology affinity, who would have thought, with my autism. And every room in my house has computers in, and gaming consoles and bits and pieces all over the place. Everything. They are like crack cocaine to me, they really are. But they're also part of my treatment and therapy, because when I'm having a really bad day, when things are really dark, I turn on that arcade machine you can see in the background there, and I play Space Invaders on it. And when I take hold of those joysticks and press the tactile buttons on the actual thingy, I am back in 1976, 1977, 1978, when I was a child, when I was at a chippy at Tenby on holiday, playing my first ever games of Space Invaders. That arcade machine there is a wonderful therapy aid, because it takes me back to a simpler side, when my brain was quieter, when it was calmer. And so all of the computer stuff you see in my room, the virtual reality headsets, everything is to help my brain cope and function with different things. I am very lucky because my autism was so special interest is so focused towards all of this kind of technology stuff, that it has meant that I can leverage it all to keep me functioning, to keep me independent, to keep me living in this house. Because I tried medication in 2019. I tried all the step programs. I tried all the different things available. Remember, before we had the virus thing and all that, I had access to all these therapists and senior psychologists and everybody, and nothing ever worked for me. The medication didn't work. It made me worse. The different things they wanted me to do, the group therapies and all that, oh my God, that was so horrible. But technology did work for me. This worked for me. Everything I have on my desk, my mouse, my keyboards, it's all part of that keeps me going, keeps me focused, keeps me calm. But remember, this is me. This is what I face. Every single disabled person is unique. And this video would have to be 1,000 hours long for me to tell you everything that I deal with, and the hundreds of thousands of coping strategies I have to put in just to survive. each day. And I'm not the worst. I'm lucky. This is about understanding. I hope you're all having a good day. I'm having a pretty good day. I went out on my mobility scooter this morning. I had enough energy to do that. Went for a little wander around. That was nice. So bye-bye for now.